And howdy folks, you're going to stare at some image at my floor. That's imagery. I'm your fabulous host, Duncan, and I welcome you to this week's video. This week is a very special video because I announced on TikTok, so follow me there. And I'd be doing a character view. What it is essentially going to be my character's review on a different character each week and his different views on certain things. So I thought today I would kick it off with Makuta Duncan. So a bit of background on Makuta Duncan, who the hell he is. Makuta Duncan is the first general of the Order of Draxon, a faction I have made that has been at war with humanity quite a bit. One of the many things that Makuta Duncan has is a hatred towards humanity, which is often commonly shared between the different Order of Draxon generals, of whom I will explain in a moment. And even despite that, Makuta Duncan serving a human serving under a human, and having a human in his group, several in fact, he still does not like humanity, and these humans are actually the only good humans he respects, because they're not actually all human. So first of all, the humans that he has that he serves under is the Creator, who is a unnamed individual from New Zealand. A version of New Zealand which became a powerhouse in the 1980s when an alien race crash landed in the 1800s during the New Zealand Wars, causing a peace deal between them. This Creator was originally a test tube baby and was eventually able to become a power soldier after the collapse of the test tube program. Different to how I had that one going. I have two uteruses, but that's the thing. So, the humans in this group are Daniel. Daniel is a Frenchman from 16th century France, and Remu, who's from Shanghai Alice Project, Alice's Toho Project video games. She's the main protagonist of them, one of the four. So let's get on to Makuta Duncan's views. New Zealand. He finds New Zealand to be, despite capable warriors, pathetically bitchy. To quote him, I don't know which is worse, the fact that one side of you wants to bitch about rights and oppression that has never happened, or the other side wants to condemn them for bitching about it. If you can't tell, Makuta Duncan doesn't like the fact that New Zealand has avoided trying to fix the issues between the Maori, and the Maori continuously bitching about it, because it just shows that they are much rather willing to act like 3-year-olds in a sandbox not getting their way than anything. Pacific Islanders, it's the same thing. The Pacific Islanders to Makuta Duncan are too laid back, and this is for all Pacific Islanders. The Philippines, he finds them like rats. Japan, he has a lot of respect for them. He has a lot of respect for two countries, and it's New Zealand and Japan. New Zealand and Japan both are warriors to him, but he still finds the humans there pathetically disgusting. For those of you who do not know, Japan is trying to wipe out a native group known as the Yucatians, to which Makuta Duncan then took over Japan as its shogun and allowed them free reign, and anybody who was racist to them, well, he basically put them as Japanese citizens, stating that they would get no harm done, and yeah. He finds China disgusting. To quote, if there was a country of villainy and evil, of corrupt politicians, and even corrupt businessmen, I'd look at China. I would love to nuke them into oblivion. Russia is another country that I do not like. It's pathetically cold. They call their cold the season, General Winter. Please, in my planet, General Winter would be outranked by Grand Vice Marshal Winter. Due to the fact that, whilst Russia does have some of the harshest climates on the planet, due to the fact that Makuta Duncan comes from Spirus Magna, he is actually referring to an event known as the Great Snowstorm, in which most of Cirrus Magna was an ice ball for 10 millennia. Excuse me. So we've done most of Asia, bits of Asia. We'll continue doing Asia. Vietnam. Farmers. They're like worms underneath my boot. They always seem to come out of the ground. Makuta Duncan hates Vietnam just because he doesn't like the way the Vietnamese people are. He finds them too worm-like. He hates Cambodia because, well, it has never fully recovered from Pol Pot. And he finds Pol Pot to be absolutely disgusting. And he actually feels rather sorry for that, and he pities them. As for Laos, he can't give a damn. Thailand, he just doesn't get. So for the next few countries, these are just countries he just doesn't give a damn for. That is Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and Tibet. He doesn't care for them. As for Hong Kong, he actually did wipe Hong Kong out as a response to his power in 2572. China had already annexed Hong Kong as a way to prove his point that he could destroy any country on Earth. He took the city of Hong Kong and obliterated it. There's now a smoking crater in the ground. Moving more east, the different former Soviet states in the east, he calls them goat lands, because only goats would find this land suitable. Oh wait, there are humans here, so they're goats now. The Middle East, he calls it the central of corruption, and in 3142, no, not 7142, in 3172, he exterminates Israel because they keep pissing him off. When Makuta Duncan was buying resources to get better ships and better upgrades to the ships, the country of Israel was fucking him over by destroying the shipments by sending pirates out to destroy them, so he tracked them back and just blew up the country. Well, he killed all of the Israelis. Palestine still exists. But for the rest of the Middle East, he calls them the corrupted business heart, the corrupted heart of Earth. Africa. If villainy and scum came to life and called a country, and took over the country, that would be Africa. Yeah, he does not like Africa. Europe. The people who single-handedly caused a lot of the problems on Earth. God, you gotta love that Karma's getting... Oh, wait, Karma never came back and bit them. He has a lot of hatred towards a lot of the European nations, most notably Britain, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, for the way that they treated the natives under them. Heading back around to the Americas now. Oh, sorry, eh? Fuck off. Canada's just pathetic. You call their warriors scary? I've seen more scarier from a Tauran with a cripple. Yeah, Makuta Duncan's, doesn't like Canada. Doesn't like America either. Oh yes, if there's a way to piss me off even more is having a country that thinks they're so great that they're really not. Just to point out, I think Hawaii doesn't exist anymore, nor does Puerto Rico, Florida, Washington State, or Texas. Makuta Duncan single-handedly destroyed those large bodies and then took them over. So, along with New Zealand, Japan, that country and those 4 states actually now belong to the Order of Draxon. He nuked Cuba in 2021, destroyed Mexico City in 2044. Doesn't like the Mexicans or the Cubans either. Can't stand the Haitians or the Dominicans. In fact, has actually got plans to wipe them out later. The rest of Central America doesn't exist either because he destroyed them already. In his year 2019, he got pissed off with how the different Central American countries were, so he wiped them out all the way down from Panama, from British Honduras all the way down to Panama. As for South America with Venezuela and Colombia, oh, you mean the secret Nazis in the closet? Ugh. We'll get back onto Germany in a moment for that, regarding that one. Yeah, he doesn't like Venezuela or Colombia. Can't stand Brazil because he doesn't like the president, and because Brazil in their 2020 did so much damage to the Amazon rainforest that, pissed off MD. Argentina doesn't exist because in 2015 they attacked the Falkland Islands again, causing Britain not only to send a much stronger force this time, but Britain completely and utterly wiped the Argentinians out. To which Chile now owns the province. The former province of Argentina. And Makuta just leaves the Chileans alone. He doesn't care for them. He doesn't care for enough of them, and they know enough to leave him alone. So they're like, meh, we will. Now, I did miss a country. I missed Australia. The reason I missed Australia is because Australia got annexed by New Zealand in 2023. Australia did something very horrible to New Zealand. As a result, with the help of the Aboriginal forces. Right, what had happened is Australia had killed a Maori king. The Maori, one of the government official Maoris, to which both whites and blacks of New Zealand, the New Zealand Maori and the New Zealand Europeans, were excuse me, what? And basically, this was the driving factor for them to actually start working together and start repairing the damages done. And thus, with help from countries like Japan, Germany, and Britain, New Zealand not only defeated the white Australians taking over Australia, but restored a lot of the native lands to the Aboriginal forces, Aborigines, who were more than happy to be under New Zealand rule, because they got their lands back. And as a result, a lot of Maori moved over to Australia, as they called it, West New Zealand, the West New Zealand provinces. Now, Germany, Italy, and Japan stand out to Makuta Duncan, along with Russia, because of certain moments in their past. When Makuta Duncan is requested by the UN to speak, he calls them all pathetic cowards, thinking that their democratic ways of life have succeeded. When he calls them out for it, he states that the world was either better under a dictatorship or a monarchy. When asked why, Makuta Duncan blatantly states that none of the problems they would be having, or do have, would be continual problems. This is because Makuta Duncan states that Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, imperialistic Japan, and even the Communist Soviet Republic had the right ideas with, if you don't want to rule over a country, then don't even bother getting into politics. None of you are fit. And my country, no, my continent, my planet, you wouldn't even be considered a funny joke. None of you sitting here are even considered worthy enough on my planet. My order takes a look at you and laughs, because you're all truly pathetic. Oh, we want to change the world by crippling more of our own. Then grow up. Yeah, Makuta Duncan actually does like Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, imperialistic Japan. Whereas I don't. But he doesn't agree with the fact that they murdered a whole bunch of innocent people because they matched differently. Because to Makuta Duncan, at the end of the day, if you're willing to fight, and fight for what you believe in, then to him, you're okay. And there are, for instance, Daniel. He wants to fight to unify Earth along with the Creator because they want a more strong, unified Earth. And Makuta respects that quite a bit, but he does not like the individual. He doesn't like humanity as a whole because there is a lot of back and forth, and he hates it. Not only that, but as I stated, he has wiped out portions of humanity just because they pissed him off. Well, anyway, that is a bit. Gonna wrap this up. I'm going to be doing different views on characters later. Characters with different views. Next week we'll be doing the Chaotic Trio. Until then, bye! This is Duncan, and good night.